Jacob, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Welcome.
Thank you.
How's life? What's new with attention?
Life is good. We have some exciting news we're going to announce. We closed our biggest deal in company history. We had three AEs start last Monday, so a lot of really exciting things happening over here.
Cool. Why the company is named Attention?
Honestly, Anis, our CEO and founder, is extremely scrappy, and he took the dictionary and ran a script over it and checked every word in the dictionary against every available URL. And then he compiled a list of all available words. And then it just so happens that a lot of events like this will list you alphabetically. Attention was a catchy name, and then now also plays into the AI white papers a bit. But it just happened that way that attention was available. It was near the front of the alphabet, so we went for
Should use it in your marketing.
it.
Let's go. Let's see Attention.
Yeah, thank you for having me. My name's Jacob Fleisher. I lead the sales team over here at Attention, and I'll set the stage right before I share my screen. Is Attention is a conversational intelligence tool, but we're very different than everyone else on the market. Our thought process is that your customer conversations, your customer interactions should be the single best data set at your company, right? And to be able to do that, you need to be able to create custom insights and also create actions or workflows that allow you to actually action and then leverage these insights that are being generated from your conversations. So there's a few key modules that I'll focus on this conversation that are giving our customers the most value. So starting here is on the conversation. I'm sure most people here have used some type of tool that has enabled them to record conversations. So on the left is probably something you're familiar to seeing. On the right is where we have reinvented the wheel. What you're seeing over here is all of the customized fields that I have in my Salesforce. We integrate with basically every single CRM on the market. And what you'll see here is that some are extremely customized, right? We have drop downs, multi-select, free text fields that after each conversation can fill all of your custom fields within your CRM. Where we really take this to the next level is that this is an analysis over one singular conversation. Actually, what this is on the right is an aggregation of every conversation and interaction I've had with this prospect Acme. Right? So if you look here, you can see the different inputs of across the different conversations that ultimately led to the output here. So when you're viewing a deal more holistically, right, you're able to understand the decision process, right, through every single conversation that you've had, getting the normalized or summarized data. Then what will happen here, all of this information can actually now flow into your CRM. So you can give your reps the ability to come in, interact with these notes, and then manually push it, or we can actually do it automatically, where we have logic, we're able to identify the opportunity after each conversation and automatically update the CRM without any human interaction at all. I think what's so powerful here is that we're giving our customers the ability to customize the prompts themselves, right? We help them with the prompt engineering, but I think what I've learned, even something like Medic, right? Every sales leader has a different view on the right way to do Medic. So giving the ability to structure formatting, outputs, looking out for specific things, you're now going to have the most uniform, standardized, high quality information flowing into your CRM. So from a RevOps perspective, it gives you the ability to have more statistically significant data to enable reporting. From a forecasting and sales leadership perspective, you'll never have to tap a rep again and say, hey, where does this stand? From a seller perspective, right, it comes down to execution. If you know what information you need to win your deals when you're preparing for your next conversations, you can really focus on the piece of information that's custom to the buyer that you're selling to, allowing you to just build more urgency because you're a lot more precise for their specific use case. Next is into coaching. I think the number one pain point we hear from coaching from managers and sales leaders is where do I start? Right. And I think the biggest challenge with that is I can manage 5 or 10 reps. If I'm only listening to 1, 3, maybe at max 5 calls per rep a week, that's still not statistically significant amount of data to draw conclusions that Jacob specifically is very weak in this area. Right. So I think what ends up happening is coaching kind of falls by the wayside because you don't know where to focus for each specific rep. And then if you don't know where to focus, these coaching sessions tend to just be not very productive and not focused on execution. So what we're able to do is allowing you to customize specific categories. This could be your prospect's favorite color. Did we do a good job identifying their favorite color? So you get to customize the category, but you also get to customize the inputs or the criteria. So you can say for a 1, right? Maybe it's for metrics. We didn't discuss metrics at all. For 3, we identified metrics but didn't quantify pain points. Or 5, we were actually able to quantify, these metrics back to core KPIs of the business. So essentially what this is giving you the ability to do is come in here and score every single conversation like you were doing so through your own rubric without actually having to do that. And what that means for your reps is they can come in here after every single conversation, right, and get feedback as you would give. So they can come in here and get 1% better every single day. And then for you as a manager, we'll jump into this analytics portion of the tool. As a manager, you can actually know where to focus. So I hired a new AE on my team, Rory. He actually got promoted from BDR to AE. So for me, my biggest challenge was, okay, Rory is making this big jump, right? I need to be able to help and coach him. How do I figure out, where we should start? So what we can do is compare Rory versus the rest of the team over a given period of time. Now I can come down here and see the trends of Rory as a seller versus the rest of the team. What I was able to identify really early on about Rory is if you look at this champion graph, Rory for over a month, right, was unable to identify or build a champion. For me as a manager, being able to come in here and just see the systemic pattern of that allowed me to really hone in on my one-on-one coaching sessions with Rory, being like, hey, we're going to work on building a champion, right? Versus me just randomly picking conversations to listen to, trying to draw conclusions from 1 or 2 conversations a day or week. So what we were able to do is focus on the execution of building a champion, but I was also able to track the progress of how he was doing. So you can see here from May 11th, over the course of May, Rory got a lot stronger at building a champion. And now his new kind of static trend, right, is way higher than where he was initially as a salesperson. So if you think of this from like a frontline manager perspective, you're always going to know where to help your specific reps. If you think through this through the lens of enablement, C-suite sales leaders, you'll know kind of systemically across the entire business, where do we need to be focusing? Where do we need to be building content? And then you can simply come down here, right, and kind of see the specific calls, right, where each seller was weak, and you can use those as your examples for coaching. The next big piece I will tap on here is generalized insights. This has been extremely transformational for our customers. What it is allowing you to do is to come in and ask questions over your entire library of conversations to really hone in and understand why you're winning and losing deals. I think with other providers, what you see is this concept of keywords, right? I can put this keyword in and can track around this keyword. We see a few issues with that. I think one is they're only forward looking, right? You've bubbled up this kind of concept or idea. You want to be able to look back and understand kind of, where it came from, where it started, why is it bubbling up, right? So the keywords are only forward looking. And 2, you're reading around the keyword, right? So it ends up being dilutive because either A, it's not understanding the nuances of the outcomes that you're trying to drive, or B, maybe a keyword is mentioned that's not in context with what you care about. So I almost like to think of this versus keywords like you're reading a book, right? And you want to understand how the main character died. Would you rather be able to read the entire book and then contextualize how it actually played out, what happened, what were the effects of it? Or would you only want to be able to read the pages where the word death was on, right? Maybe the main character was shot. And it doesn't say the word death until 20 pages later in a eulogy, right? You're going to miss so much context and the why behind all of that. So we're really giving you the ability to understand the why behind all of these asks. So I was able to ask, what are the most common objections our sales team faced, right? This looked over 100 conversations. We allow you to segment by team, by specific team members, opportunities, and we also allow you to bring in data from your CRM to help triage by industry, by segment. What you'll see is attention was able to query over these 100 conversations and then give me these outputs. I can then validate them by clicking here on the right and actually seeing all of the conversations, right, where this came up, helping me further understand what is actually happening in my sales process. So we see applications here from coaching, right, narrowing the gap from your top reps to your bottom reps. What is rep A doing so successfully when it comes to quantifying pain points that the rest of the team isn't doing, right? So this is really going to accelerate your learnings and actionability across your entire GTM. A few other last pieces that we're doing is auto-generating email for sales reps. I think the way we're doing this is a little differentiated, where instead of just kind of using a template, right, that you get stuck with a provider, we actually allow you to write your own prompts, right? So you can get the format of the email exactly how you want. Maybe one rep like sending emails that are bulky, big paragraphs. Maybe one rep is like 3 bullets and nothing else, right? So you can write a prompt that gives you the exact follow-up, right, that you want. So if I was able to click one of these, what'll happen is it'll generate the follow-up in the format or the template, right, that I like to send my follow-up emails that I can then copy into Gmail, or I can just share into Gmail and any other email provider as well. And then last is insights, giving you the ability to ask questions over this singular conversation, right? To understand the trends of, or not the trends, to understand what happened in this conversation. Maybe you want to ask, use exact quotes, describe Patrick's, pain points, or maybe you want to come in and just get the risks to this deal. Right? We're giving you the ability to do that. And I know we are up at time. So yeah, that is attention, really giving you the ability to customize conversational intelligence to get the insights that you need to really make a difference. Thank you, everyone.
Nice job, Jacob.
Amazing demo, Jacob. We have a lot of questions from the community. I'm curious what you've received, Justin. But before we transition, let's just hit a couple.
Yeah.
So one is, what's your best customer use case?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think from a use case perspective, I think there's 2 or 3 major ones, right? I think it is around data hygiene, right? Just being able to get better data into the CRM that makes it more actionable. I think coaching is a massive one, right? Getting the information that you need that's relevant to your sales process to understand that where you need to improve. And I think just overall go-to-market strategy, right? Like using generalized insights to understand the differences that are happening in your EMEA markets versus your NORAM markets, right? So really being able the ability to ask these questions that were not once possible given the unstructured nature of conversations is now possible.
Next one, which tools are your buyers typically integrating?
Yeah, I would say for us, it is a variety. Their conversational platform, whether it be like a dialer like Aircall or Kixie, video conferencing, Zoom, Google Meets, and then CRM systems. We do a lot with, you can do like ticketing systems like Jira, Zendesk, obviously the big CRMs, Salesforce, HubSpot. I think what we found really unique with us is that we're very flexible into where we integrate with. So if there's types of insights that you want to know, maybe you want to Slack a product manager every time this new product is mentioned, right? We can do that for you. So in terms of integrations, there's a lot of different applications that we're seeing.
And last one, what's next on the attention roadmap?
Yeah, I think for us, we want to continue to go deeper and deeper into the conversation. So we're thinking about this idea of workflows, right? How do we enable our customers to do more with this information? So I think through the lens of, prompt, logic, and action, right? One example could be, anytime an opportunity is over $100,000 in, ACV, and it's in the propose stage. Take this template that we've put into attention and create a business case based off of all of the interactions and slack it to the sales rep. Or maybe when a deal is marked close lost in Salesforce, analyze all the interactions and generate a close loss reason and fill a close loss dropdown and free text field. So really enabling this idea of workflows where you can use prompting, actions, and logic to really generate all these different insights and send data based off of things that are happening in the conversations to the right places.